Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis. Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis. Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. I put that on my partner, I put that on my family. Oakland City represent, address me as your majesty. Yeah, you can kiss the ring, but you can never touch the crown. I smoke a million Swisher blunts and I ain't never coming down. Bitch, you ain't no Barbie, I see you work at Arby's. Number 2, super silent, hurry up, I'm starving. Gnarly, radical, on the block I'm magical. See me at your college campus, baggy full of Adderalls. Call me if you need a fix, call me if you need a boost. See them other chicken heads, they don't ever leave the coop. I'm in the coupe cruising, I got the stolen plates, serving all the fiends over there by the Golden Gate. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis. Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis. Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi, Prada, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. I put that on my partner, I put that on my family. Oakland City represent, address me as your majesty. Yeah, you can kiss the ring, but you can never touch the crown. I smoke a million Swisher blunts and I ain't never coming down.
Do you agree that there's no such thing as racism, sexism, homophobism, Islamophobism, deadbeat dadism, white supremacism, and all the other isms? Destiny, that's a woman's name. You were raised by your daddy and mama. That makes you half man and half woman. You are a beta. You're not a real man, beta. I just have one question for you, beta. There's just one thing I want to know. Destiny, do you love all people? Do you really love the blacks? Destiny, do you love black people? Why can't you just answer the question? Destiny, do you love all people?
Systems, the company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. sleeps in the same room with that creepy widow woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur.
Literal vampire pot belly goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go.
We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house.
I said certified freak. 7 days a week. Wet ass P word. Make that pullout game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word. Give me everything you've got for this wet ass P word. Beat it up, N word, catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top if I want to ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P word is wet, come take a dive. It continued along these lines. And it gets significantly more vulgar. Like, a lot more vulgar.
I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. My children aren't going hungry. I'll do it. I'll drink your blood. And I'm starting to think about having to eat my neighbors. You think I like size it up? I'm gonna haul him up back chain. Chop his ass up, size it up. I'm gonna haul him up back chain. Chop, 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 chop. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I'll barbecue your ass flat. I will cook your ass up so fast, and I'll tell them, oh, I killed a cow out back, baby. You think Christ would eat somebody? He would never do that. I will. I'm ready to hang them up, gut them and skin them and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. That's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass first. I swear to God, if it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna get my hands around your throat.
It's another B-Word broadcast. Let's go, everybody. How's it going? How you doing? How's it going? It's a beautiful day here in Montreal. Lovely as can be. Bright blue sky. It is August 19th, getting to the tail end of the summer. Holy cow. It is happening. I'm on vacation. I'm finally officially on vacation. So we gonna be streaming. How's it going, Matt? How you doing today? I hope you caffeinated. I hope you feeling fine. We got so much content lined up today. Yo, man, normal country do be doing normal things. Am I right? We're gonna cover what's happening south of the border. And, yeah, hopefully keep our sanity along the way. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. I'm here for it. I hope you're here for it. We got lots of good content lined up. All sorts of spicy, juicy, delicious news. And yeah, I'm learning some new tunes. I made a realization the other day, which is always fun to have. It's always good to have realizations, epiphanies. But I think I can smush two pieces of art together, make them love each other. I've got like this really relaxing like piano, do 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 do. It's like super chill and happening. But then I also have this song about beauty, about beauty is in the eye of the beholder, just kind of riffing off of that original line, and smushed together. A lot of parts kind of work, and a lot of parts don't. So I feel if I take like an axe to the poem, you know, come at it and be like, all right, you're mine now, and you know, carve out lyrics from the poem, because a lot of it rhymes, a lot of it is loosely metered, and the song is pretty loose, so you know, just sing a bit offbeat, and yeah, I think that could be a really interesting, heartwarming, soothing song. And I have a lot of sad music, so it'd be nice to have a really positive, happy-go-lucky song in the works. So that's some of the updates that are happening. Other than that, we coming up on the weekend. It's Friday, everybody. Oh my god, almost there. I still have a bit of work to do to like wrap things up for work, but other than that, I'm a free bird. So we chillin'. This might be a longer stream, definitely longer than yesterday, which was pumping before I had to like leave. Went to go meet like this lovely community, the literacy umbrella of Quebec, Luck, and yeah, it seemed like a pretty interesting community and a great way to sort of network with other community organizers. So yeah, poets and professors and you know, interested, smart writing people. So yeah, my kind of folk. It was really great to be there, and hopefully, you know, more comes out of it. It seemed like a lot of genuine people trying to make a positive difference, and that stuff can usually turn out pretty well. So yeah, we blasting off on Twitter. We gonna blast off on Facebook. Yo, we're live, everybody. We're live. It's another B-Word broadcast. Holy cow. So much fun. If you on Twitter just retweet that, give it a like. If you're on YouTube, give the video a like. It helps support me, you know. So yeah, let's get into the stream, everybody. Let's find out what's going on. Just gonna line up the first story, which yeah, already a great one. Now you might have heard pieces of this already, but we got a good story from Vanity Fair. So yeah, we're just gonna watch that. I got myself my mug of MAGA tears. Good, refreshing as always. Cheers. Let's get into it. Alrighty then. So, yeah, Republicans are trying to convince Americans the IRS is trying to kill them. That's normal news from normal country. I think I'm just gonna call this segment what it is. That's what it's always gonna be. Just normal news from normal country. Shoe on Head already has Hell Worlds, which, dang, I feel really late to the party on that one. But maybe normal news from normal country is a good replacement. You know what I mean? And be as simple as just adding in a little text box. Apparently not content to stop at unleashing paranoia-fueled violence on the Capitol and FBI agents doing their jobs, Republicans would now like people to believe that the number crunchers at the IRS are going to start knocking down the middle class's doors and murdering them for not paying taxes. Look at all these S's. Very sussy. Look at that. That is 3 S's in a row. 3 S's. Dang. That's a very rare sighting. As a result of the $80 billion in additional funding the IRS will receive as part of the Inflation Reduction Act. Yes, we wish we were joking. No, incredibly, we are not. Fund the IRA. I thought the whole story always seemed to be like the IRA were historically underfunded, which kept them from going after the rich, which were hardened targets compared to, you know, the vulnerable poor. Seemingly created as a response to the raid on Trump's home, for which the GOP has no legitimate defense, Republican lawmakers and officials kicked off the scare tactic last Monday. Rubio conspiratorially asked, quote, after today's raid on Mar-A-Lago, what do you think the left plans to use those 87,000 new IRS agents for? Indiana Representative Jim Banks warned his followers, quote, if the FBI can raid the home of a former U.S. president, imagine what 87,000 more agents will do to you. This is really positive. This is really good for the country. Richard Grinnell, Trump's former acting director of national intelligence, tweeted, quote, the FBI raids Trump's house and the Democrats vote to add 87,000 new IRS agents to go after Americans. Wake up, America! Dang, man, I know it's early. I know it's like 9:30 in the morning, but we've already got our first wake up, America. Wake up! I wonder when we'll get our first freedom. Our first organic call for freedom in the news. Certainly within the hour. Naturally, the insanity only escalated from there. On Thursday, in an appearance on Fox and Friends, Senator Chuck Grassley asked, quote, are they going to have a strike force that goes in with AK-15s already loaded, ready to shoot some small business person in Iowa? Is that a... No. Is that a real... Do we have a clip? That's wild. Oh, yes. Let's go.
All right. Meanwhile, let's go out to Iowa, where Senator Chuck Grassley, the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, is joining us now. Senator, up for re-election. Senator, first off, when you look at this raid, the one thing I didn't think was going to happen so early was it seems like every Republican is on the same page. Even Mitch McConnell saying we need answers to why this raid took place, not sources or ideas about what they were looking for, the FBI was looking for. What questions do you have?
The people of Iowa are outraged at what's happening here, particularly the double standard between negotiating with Hillary Clinton on her servers and emails, and we know they were compromised for national security, but they negotiated with her and they raided the president. And I talked to 2 days ago to the FBI director about it, and I didn't get any satisfactory answers. And we need to have some trust in the FBI. You know how I pointed out political bias, starting a Trump investigation and stopping a Hunter Biden investigation.
Talking about Hunter Biden when there's cherries in front of Mar-A-Lago, it's great. Like roll the clip of Hunter snorting crack again. I think we've all forgotten it.
By the special agent in charge that had political bias against Republicans, and this is just another example of that. And so the question I have is, when are they going to tell the American people exactly why they did it and what they and why they did it, raiding it, as opposed to what they did negotiating with Hillary Clinton?
Did Chris Wray know about it? Did Chris Wray tell you he knew about the raid?
What did he say to you?
What did the FBI director know?
I did not get that answer from him. I said, I basically said this: when are we going to know why it's going to be, why it was done and how it was done and what? And you get the usual answer under both Republican and Democrat administrations. We don't talk about an ongoing investigation.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
in this case, where it's so historically wrong to raid an ex-president's office that's never been done before, I think we deserve answers at the highest level of government, and that's at least at Garland's level.
Well, did you get the sense that they actually have something? Because it is, like you said, so rare and unprecedented to be this extreme.
I didn't get much of an answer at all,
Okay.
and that's what's wrong. This is a Department of Justice supposed to be, but it's a Department of Trust Us. And that isn't the way the American government.
Oh man, this is a real just us, not justice moment, huh? It's just us. Oh man, oof, wordplay.
Government works. Transparency brings accountability, and this extraordinary action on this administration, whether it's Biden, whether it's Garland, or whether it's Wray, or whether it's somebody under them that Wray didn't even know about it, I didn't even get an answer on that. But we need to have trust in the Department of FBI, and this just destroys that confidence, and particularly the political bias that I've already proven through my investigations into Tebow and these other investigations that I just stated.
Yeah. Well, Senator, it sounds like there are a number of stories where, according to sources who have spoken to, I read this morning in Rolling Stone, which I had a subscription to in the 1970s.
Yeah, I think we might actually cover the same story.
Anyway, they got a good journalism outfit, but apparently they had an informant on the inside.
A mole. There was a mole, everybody. Yeah, it's like my favorite part of this story is like Trump world freaking out about who's the mole? Who could it be?
And they say, since May, the president has wondered, do you think our phones are tapped? And since May, there have been a number of times where the president has wondered whether any Republicans visiting the clubs could be wearing a wire. So it sounds like somebody inside said, hey, in this room, you'll find this, and in that room, you'll find that. So it sounds like there's some high level, some high degree that going in, they knew where the stuff was, whatever the stuff is.
Well, those are answers that I can't speak to. The FBI director, when I had my conversation with him 2 days ago, he didn't talk about that. And we need answers to those questions, and there's nothing illegitimate, particularly the extraordinary aspect of a former president for the first time in the history of our country having a house raided for information.
You're not supposed to use the word raid.
Particularly when it's so different from the way they handled Hillary Clinton.
I know you've had whistleblowers that have come to you and told you
handled Hillary Clinton. Remember when the FBI director went and said that they're opening an investigation into her, like, right before the election? Yeah, I remember that. Good times.
From the way they handled Hillary Clinton.
I know you've had whistleblowers that have come to you and told you the Hunter Biden story, that was disinformation because of these two agents. One was Tebow, as you mentioned, in the FBI field offices. I think one was in D.C. And they were telling you that, these whistleblowers were telling you these two agents did not want that story out there about Hunter Biden and were calling it disinformation. Have you talked to those whistleblowers about this raid, and what are they saying is happening inside the FBI?
I have not personally talked to them, but I assume that my chief investigator has had conversation with them, and if they haven't, I'm sure we will have.
Okay. Also, Senator, while you're there, I'm sure in addition, you're sitting today in Des Moines, I'm sure in addition to the search warrant execution that happened a couple of nights ago, the news as well that apparently the IRS is going to hire a whole bunch of new people. They got $80 billion to hire a bunch of people. And one of the job postings said this: if you get this job, you've got to be able to carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. Be willing and able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. So it sounds like the IRS is arming up.
Are they going to have a strike force that goes in with AK-15s already loaded, ready to shoot some small business person in Iowa with these? Because I think they're going after middle class and small business people, because basically they think anybody that has pass-through income is a crook and they aren't paying their fair share, and we're going to go after them. And with 87,000 additional employees, you can imagine what that harassment's going to be to middle-class Americans and our small business people.
Yep, an example of what happens when you lose 2 seats in Georgia. You got to jam this down the American people's throats. Meanwhile, 12 minutes after the hour, the big news is Iowa, Field of Dreams. Second straight year.
That's wild. That's a sitting senator saying the IRS is coming with guns because you didn't file the correct tax documents. Wild. Oh man, you hate to see it. You hate to see it, everybody. So that was a real quote said by a real person, not impersonating a fake person. Kevin McCarthy falsely warned that a new army of 87,000 IRS will be coming for you if you make 75 grand or less. It's an army for the poorers. Critics claim that such claims are not only flatly false, but dangerous for agents. Of course, contrary to the misinformation from opponents of this legislation. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Contrary to the misinformation from opponents of this legislation, small business or households earning 400 grand per year or less will not see an increase in the chances that they are audited. Yeah, this is Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Yada yada yada. So pretty fun. Pretty fun, everybody. Definitely wakes you right up. Okay, I'm not totally ready to get to our main segment. I got a couple other things leading up to it. There's this happening. This is Pravda, so warning, bad outlet. But quote from Zelensky: "World must make Russia withdraw from Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, or else all nuclear security agreements are worthless." There's a pretty intense conflict emerging, over a nuclear power plant that's got a lot of people freaked out. So that's fun. That's good to know about. There's also this video that apparently is going viral, I suppose. It's got 1.4 million views and it just published. So let's watch. Oh, just at the key change too. Damn. Okay, but here we go. think it's called Lock Him Up. So, or Lock Trump Up should be good.
In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information.
The government's paperwork lists 11 groups of documents found inside Mar-A-Lago under 3 headings: confidential, secret, and top secret.
This was not just extreme carelessness with classified material, which is still totally disqualified. This is calculated, deliberate, premeditated misconduct.
Classified documents relating to nuclear weapons were among the items the FBI agents were searching for.
A cover-up that included false statements and lies to Congress, the media, and the American people.
I'm concerned that they may have planted something. I think they just make stuff up and, come up with whatever they want.
He can literally stand over a set of documents and say, these are now declassified.
So disrespectful to our country, and actually very illegal.
That's like an anti-freedom chant. It's like the opposite of a freedom chant. It's like, let's take that guy's, in particular, his freedom. Lamau.
In my administration.
Lol, Lamau even. So, that was, pretty entertaining. I like the nuclear bomb. That was totally on track. That's exactly what's happening. Mitch McConnell says Republicans may not win Senate control, citing candidate quality. Nice.
Care to share any of your projections on the midterm elections?
Yeah, I think that there's probably a greater likelihood the House flips than the Senate. Senate races are just different. They're statewide. Candidate quality has a lot to do with the outcome. Right now we have a 50-50 Senate and a 50-50 country, but I think when all is said and done this fall, we're likely to have an extremely close Senate, either our side up slightly or their side up slightly.
Notice how he just like skips over the gross indifferent, like how do I say, the disproportionate way that the Senate favors, rural countries, like land over people. She's like, yeah, we got a 50-50 country. We're totally divided in the middle. It's like, yeah, not exactly. I'm not so sure about that. Let's see if we can get some more.
New comments today, just in, from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Senate's top Republican, suggesting in public on camera that his party, he thinks, will probably stay in the minority after the midterms. Watch.
I think there's probably a greater likelihood the House flips than the Senate. Senate races are just different. They're statewide. Candidate quality has a lot to do with the outcome.
Those new comments coming as some of his allies are making some changes in their election strategy in key Senate races across the country. One group aligned with McConnell, we've learned, pumping $28 million into Ohio to prop up J.D. Vance there. I want to bring in NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapoor on Capitol Hill. And Sahil, in some ways, McConnell is acknowledging, I think, what many people have observed here. You look at Cook Political Report that has just shifted its ratings for Senate races in Pennsylvania, Colorado, and Utah, saying those races are maybe a little less likely to go Republican. Awesome. Obviously, Utah is still likely Republican.
Shitposting his way
but
to
what's
Senate.
interesting, and I think what caught a lot of people's attention, is McConnell's reference to candidate quality. Sahil.
That's right, Hallie. This shows a real apprehension on the part of Mitch McConnell that despite the historically favorable political environment for Republicans, they might fall short of capturing a Senate majority this year as a result of candidates. Now, McConnell picks his words very carefully. He would not have used that phrase if he didn't have some concerns on that front. And while he didn't name names, it's not difficult to guess who he might be talking about. In Pennsylvania, the Republican nominee, the Trump-endorsed Dr. Oz, has been really struggling against John Fetterman. That race was downgraded for Republicans by the Cook Political Report, moved to lean Democrat, which is remarkable for such a swing state and open year. Oz is he keeps getting dunked on, but for his ties to New Jersey, he spent the last
easy dunks. I think one of my favorite pictures from John Fetterman was a picture of the Monopoly board, and it showed 10 houses on Boardwalk, and he's like, your POV if you're Dr. Oz, because Apparently the dude owns 10 houses, so I was like, yeah, easy clap, easy.
Last few days having to talk more about this odd video regarding crudité that he put out in Ohio.
Yeah.
McConnell.
He's like, I can't make crudité, everybody. I tried to put my asparagus into salsa, and it cost me $20.
Allies spending $28 million to prop up J.D. Vance. That state should be a layup for Republicans in a year like this. Remember, Donald Trump won it by 8 points in 2020, even though he lost the country overall by 4.5 points. There are other races, Senate races, where Republicans have nominated untested first-time candidates, like in Georgia and Arizona, states like New Hampshire, where they did not get their prize recruit. You can add Arizona to that list. They did not get the governor of that state they wanted. So this is, McConnell having a little bit of deja vu from 2010 and 2012, Hallie, when Republicans had a good shot at winning control of the Senate both years, but nominated a slate of unelectable extreme candidates like Todd Akin, Richard Murdoch, Christine O'Donnell, that in those 2 cycles, and ultimately ended up falling short.
Okay, this got boring. Moving on to the next story. Republican group apologizes for mistakenly posting a KKK image, which normally happens in most places. Most places seem to have that problem, I think. This is a common problem. Reporting from Alabama, a Republican group in Alabama is apologizing after accidentally using a picture of the GOP elephant that contained Ku Klux Klan imagery. Oh, I think this one's actually more complicated. Yeah, this one's... I don't know if I can show the image. I don't think we can show the image, but I think I remember seeing this. And people were wondering if it was done on purpose to sort of taint the image and that, like, to see if anybody would notice it. So the Lawrence County Republican Party intended to post an image of the Republican elephant on its Facebook page, but ended up using one in which the white spaces between the animal's legs were drawn to resemble hooded Klansmen. A party official said the image was taken from the results of a Google search and that the image was immediately replaced once the mistake was detected. Quote, offer deep, sincere apology. I take full responsibility. And then, of course, the easy done from the House Minority Leader. Shame on them. So, yeah, Republicans either having saboteurs within on the inside, or just they're just let something slip. No close readers. Nobody actually looking at every pixel. In all fairness, when like I came across this, it was like a Reddit post, and even when I was told that there were Klansman images in it, I had to like look at it for a little bit. Like, wait, what? Where are they? Where are they? Like 30 seconds later, Waldo appears with a Klan's hood. I'm like, oh, okay, there he is. Yeah, not a fun era in politics. Speaking of which, Bolsonaro is apparently going to get charged for spreading COVID misinformation. I cannot wait for Viva Fry to be all over this. But yeah, Brazil's federal police asked Supreme Court to charge president over bogus claims in October 2021 social media broadcast. What an incredible era. Both Brazil and America, the top cops are charging the president. Dude. Oh, thanks. Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm a goof. Sorry. When I switch between, like, videos where you want to hear it and then background music, I gotta remember to drop the dial. My bad. Thanks for correcting me, Matt. But yeah, big story. Police call for Bolsonaro to be charged for spreading COVID misinfo. That's just, it's quite. Brazil's federal police are getting the Supreme Court to charge the president. Man, I remember getting into awful arguments on Facebook with someone I knew who was a huge Bolsonaro stan. And I'm like, he said things like he thinks it's cool for like women to get, sexually assaulted and stuff. And he's like, no way. So I post the link, just like a video clip of him. And he's like, do we have anyone who speaks Portuguese? Do we have anyone who can check the translation on this? I don't believe it. I'm like, where are you going to move the goalpost to next, my guy? Like, you're crazy. The dude said awful things. Accept it. Like, oh, man. Brazilian federal police have called for President Jair Bolsonaro to be charged with spreading fake information about a coronavirus outbreak that has killed more than 680,000 of its citizens, including bogus claims of a link between AIDS and COVID vaccines. Yeah, what an absolute piece of shit. Oh my god. Targeting the gay community, almost certainly. Bolsonaro's anti-scientific response to a disease he called a bit of a cold has been internationally condemned and the subject of a congressional inquiry in which the far-right populist was accused of deliberately delaying vaccine purchases and promoting quack cures such as hydroxychloroquine. A word I can easily pronounce because it's such a part of the discourse. Yup. On Wednesday night, a senior federal police investigator was reported to have written to the Supreme Court asking for Bolsonaro to be questioned and charged with the crime of incitement when someone encourages another person to commit an offense. That alleged crime, which is punishable with up to 6 months in prison, relates to a notorious social media broadcast in October 2021, which was subsequently removed by YouTube and Facebook. In the deleted transmission, Bolsonaro falsely claimed face masks, the compulsory use of which he repeatedly flouted, and in hilarious scenarios, had been responsible for many of the deaths during the 1918 influenza pandemic. This is always the worst. You know, the masks are trapping the carbon dioxide and you're starving your brain. Don't you know? Quote, the president, in a direct, spontaneous, and conscious manner, disseminated the disinformation that victims of the Spanish flu had in fact died as a result of bacterial pneumonia caused by the use of masks, instilling in viewers' minds a veritable disincentive to their use in the fight against COVID at a time when the use of masks was compulsory, the police report said. What a long sentence. My God. What an incredibly long sentence. In the same live broadcast, Bolsonaro falsely claimed government studies in the UK suggested fully vaccinated people were developing AIDS much faster than expected. British officials rejected the claims. What a horrible man. What a horrible person. In her report, the federal police investigator Lorena Lima Nascimento said that untrue claim could generate public alarm over a non-existent danger and constituted a misdemeanor. Bolsonaro's botched COVID response has become a central issue in the presidential election campaign, which formally kicked off this week ahead of a first-round vote on the 2nd of October. On Tuesday, the leftist frontrunner Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, everybody just calls him Lula though, used his first campaign event to savage Bolsonaro's reaction to the pandemic, telling supporters his rival, quote, hadn't shed a single tear for its victims and appeared to be, quote, possessed by the devil. You get him, Lula! Come on, you get him! Directing himself to Bolsonaro, Lula asked, quote, how many children are now orphans because you were a denialist and didn't believe in science or medicine? The federal police inquiry into Bolsonaro's alleged COVID crimes was ordered last December at the end of a congressional inquiry into his handling of the public health emergency. Bolsonaro has yet to comment on the reports, but showed signs of stress on Thursday when he was filmed setting upon a protester who called him a cowardly scumbag in images that went viral on social media. Bolsonaro can be seen grabbing the man's shirt and then his arm before the objector is bundled away by security guards. I'm glad I read to the end of the article. Holy cow, what is this? Oh, yeah.
Ó a tchutchuca do Centrão lá. Tô aqui todo dia pra te combater, safado. Bora. Você é vagabundo. É vagabundo. Tô falando aqui, ó, na frente do gado do cercadinho inteiro. E aí, quem que me derrubou? Fala agora. Cadê o machão que me derruba na covardia? Ah, eu caí, né? Caí magicamente. Você tropeçou na sua ignorância. O senhor quer falar comigo? Fala comigo. Sim. Fala comigo, cara. Vem cá, vem cá. Oxi, vai! Não, eu quero falar contigo. Tá maluco, é? Vocês estão loucos! Sai daqui, tá louco! Vocês vão ver! Você vai fazer o quê? Tá maluco! Sai daqui!
I love that it's like the word that used is bundled away.
Não, eu sou da imprensa, eu posso.
Comforting word.
Quem que me derrubou? Fala agora!
So he's like live streaming, recording.
Ah, eu caí, né? Caí magicamente.
Cussing him out, I'm guessing.
Na sua ignorância. O senhor quer falar comigo? Fala comigo. Sim. Fala
Yari
comigo.
gets into it. Tries to grab the camera.
What? Não.
What?
Tá maluco, é? Vocês estão loucos. Sai daqui, tá
Oh man, it always like it just makes for a better clip. What are you doing? Don't reach for the camera. That makes for such a good clip. Wow, things happened.
Não, eu sou da imprensa. Eu posso.
So yeah, Jair Bolsonaro is doing great. Oh, there's a remix.
Tigrão, vem, vem, tchutchuca, vem aqui pro seu tigrão. Vou te jogar na cama e te dar muita pressão. Vem, tchutchuca, vem aqui pro seu tigrão. Vou te, vem, vem.
Okay, Spanish Twitter, let's go. Or Spanish TikTok, I guess. Yeah, that's funny. That's a great way for that story to end. Amazing. All right. What else we got here? Oh yeah, there was this story which was really interesting. I'll see if I can find the clip. Yeah, this clip. This went viral. I meant to cover it. I had it lined up and everything, and I just neglected to see if we can get better quality on Twitter. But it was really interesting. It was from the Peterborough protest, the QAnon one.
Hey, I've saved life. Can you tell me why my sister's injured? No. Can you take that out of here, please? I don't want it here. Get it out of here. Get it out of here, dude. What's the problem? Right now. I'm not right now. Get that sign out of here right now. Get it out of here now. Get out. I got injured and dead people. I'm not playing. Get out.
Get the hell out of here. I got treated this way.
Get out, dude.
The way I got treated for not wearing a mask, you're getting treated that way now.
You hear that?
I got injured people. I don't want signs like that. Settle down, guys. I don't need this piece of shit.
I like this guy the most. He's like in his hunter's gear. He's an old head. Settle down, guys. He's talking to someone who's probably maybe 5 years younger than them, maybe 10 years, who is wearing a 1776 shirt. And his eyes are so gray and glazed over, like such a freakish look he has going on.
Okay, let me talk. Just get that sign out, brother. You want to be here? Put that down. Your sign out and I'll take my sign out. I don't have a sign. Hey.
Yeah, what a dumb comment. You put your sign away, I'll put my sign away. Okay, Lib. Okay, Lib.
Please take the sign down. Please take that sign down.
And the coroner, when the coroner came, within a half an hour, he said it was blood clots and he had to.
And he's trying to like school him on the medical reality of vaccines. The man in the hunter's garb is secretly an epidemiologist, everybody.
Hey, you guys signed this says vaccines save lives.
They do.
No, they don't.
They do.
Look, I got all the evidence.
Wrong, but he
I got all the evidence. You just want to come back to my card? I got my YouTube video already set up for anyone who's interested.
No.
Oh, he's like, I'm not here for dialogue. I'm just here to put this message out.
Honestly, that's a lie. It's a lie, mate. And you're standing amongst a group of people lying, and the same people that are trying to say... I am standing in amongst a group of people lying to me. That's exactly right.
Ooh, you see how he flipped that? Oh, man. He's even got a Brit Floyd. What the hell is a Brit Floyd? It's like...
Oh, that's a lie.
That's a lie. Prove it. I just asked you. I just told you I can show. I can.
How many people are getting injured and died? I have 3 friends in Niagara Lake that have died after job number 2. My grandmother has died because of that thing.
Let me tell you something else. Okay, listen.
Get the salt.
Oh, that's it. Oh, you're crying. Oh, that's a cry.
Go get another 200 bucks.
Are you live streaming just out of curiosity? Hey, listen.
This guy might be because we don't know who he is.
I work for a company.
This guy's trying to film us. See, I knew he was.
He's still trying to debate bro him. It's awesome. These people are unhinged. All dudes. Real like gym bro energy. So yeah, QAnon, everybody. My freedoms are calling, and they want you to know you can't say vaccines save lives. That's too much freedom. We gotta shut it down. Okay, we got a clip from Kids Are Something Else, which is, or sorry, Kids Are Stupid. Perfect example of the day-to-day bullshit of parenting. This is great. Baby trying to run into the road. Okay. I'm better. Oh god. So yeah, yeah, kids, am I right? You got kids? All right, next up on the gravy train of content before we get to our main story. This was a really big story as well. I almost made it the main one. A federal judge just ordered Starbucks to immediately reinstate the illegally fired union leaders in Memphis, Tennessee. So this is huge news. There's a bunch of people who are organizing, who are unionizing, especially in retail, which is really great to see. And we got an article from WAPO about it. From Taylor Lorenz. Oh no, everybody! Warning! It's Taylor Lorenz. she might try to transgender you by the end of this. Article. A coalition of top TikTok stars. Oh, let me put on the music real quick, like nice and low this time, huh? I'm getting better. A coalition of top TikTok stars is pledging to cease all work with Amazon, including shutting down storefronts and halting new partnerships with the e-commerce platform until the company meets the demands of the Amazon Labor Union. Boasting a combined following of over 51 million, the group of 70 TikTok creators says that the campaign, called the People Over Prime Pledge, is designed to pressure Amazon to meet the requests of its workers, which include a $30 minimum wage. Hell yeah, truck yeah, let's go, now that's freedom. Increased paid time off, and halting activities the group considers union busting. Quote, Amazon's widespread mistreatment of their workers and blatant use of union busting tactics will no longer be tolerated by the TikTok community. It's a positive change in the right direction. I just never expected it to come from TikTok. I'm sorry. I'm obviously an old head at this point. This is from Generation Z for Change, an advocacy group that coordinated the pledge and works frequently with creators. Amazon Labor Union did not help organize the People Over Prime pledge, but interim union president Chris Smalls, who is based and awesome, who himself has over 178,000 followers on Twitter, said in the message that there's a natural alignment between the pledge participants and Amazon Labor Union, which has used TikTok to gain popular support, regularly posting videos that garner hundreds of thousands of views. And let's check out some of that after. Should be good. Quote, it's a good fight to take on because Amazon definitely is afraid of how we use TikTok during our campaign, said Smalls. The health, safety, and well-being of our employees is our top priority, said Amazon spokesperson Paul Flanagan via email. Quote, we're committed to giving our employees the resources they need to be successful, creating time for regular breaks and a comfortable pace of work, and working directly with anyone who needs additional support to meet their goals. We also work closely with health and safety experts and scientists, conduct thousands of safety inspections each day in our buildings. None of that answers my questions about the pee bottles. What's going on with the pee bottles and 30 seconds of mandatory feel good about your hellish job? The campaign is a public setback for Amazon, which has sought to develop tighter relationships with younger influencers in recent years. In 2017, the company launched the Amazon Influencer Program, allowing creators to earn revenue by recommending products in personalized Amazon storefronts. Wow, really? Earlier this year, Amazon flew more than a dozen Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok stars to a luxurious retreat in Mexico to encourage influencers to grow their presence on the platform. Fucking sellouts. What a bunch of sellouts. In June, Amazon built a massive VIP lounge at VidCon, an annual conference for online video stars where influencers could learn about ways to work more closely with the company. Wow. Emily Raina Shaw, 24, a TikTok creator with 5.4 million viewers, partnered with Amazon in the past. Wow. Holy... We don't care about them, though. 19, a TikTok creator, 3.4 million. Wow. Oh, as an influencer, it's important to choose the right companies to work with, she said. I don't think that workers should be treated the way they are under Amazon. Oh, okay, here we go. Based. This is talking about Amazon, like, cracking down on unions, which has definitely been, like, pretty insincere stuff. Real, like, soulless corporate ghoul work. But let's check out this Amazon labor union. I'm not even following them. What the hell? You should follow them too. You can just check it out. Alright, let's see here. Yes, I am not robot. I am not robot. I'm okay, this is 500,000 views.
Why am I so silly? Not a silly hoe, yup, and a silly bitch, yup, on that silly shit, yup, with the silly click, yup, automatic click, yup, hit a man's hip, yup,
Recognize all workers. Recognize all goat.
Why am I so silly?
Recognize ALU. Nice. Poggers. That's pretty awesome. Loud and proud, baby. All right, what else? What else they got? It's been a long year of organizing. We got 1 day left. Okay, this looks like building up. Yeah, building up hype, energy. Looks based. 1 million views.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I just want you guys to know it is illegal to take down union literature when it's in a break room. We are legally allowed to post it.
Yeah, you're putting it right there. There
Okay,
you go.
great.
Ah!
Awesome, for sure.
I appreciate it.
What were your guys' names? Tammy.
I told you, Mitch.
Tammy what?
Tammy. Nice to meet you.
Cool. What full?
I'm Tammy.
What's your full name?
Tammy.
It's Tammy. Okay, cool.
Oh, she does it. Oh, Tammy. Yo, roll that back. That is a good clip. Whoa, fire.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, I just want you guys to know it is illegal to take down union literature when it's in a break room. We are legally allowed to post it.
Yeah, you're putting it right there. There
Okay,
you go.
great. Awesome, for sure.
I appreciate it.
What were your guys' names? Tammy.
I told you, Mitch.
Tammy what?
Tammy. Nice to meet you.
Cool. What full?
I'm Tammy.
What's your full name?
Tammy.
It's Tammy. Okay, cool.
Yo, she rolled that back so quickly. She was immediately stopped. Immediately stopped what she's doing. She's like, no, thank you. I'm not going to continue criming. No more criming for me. Is that a camera? Is that a crime being committed on camera? Maybe not. So pretty cool. And Chris Malls appeared on a prominent Twitch stream and they didn't even say Hassan's name. Damn. Oh no, it was actually, yeah. Oh, is Mike from PA really? No, Mike from PA is reacting to Hassan interviewing him. They cited the wrong. They didn't. That's not cool. Oh my god. They didn't name Hassan and then they linked up. Yo, they did my boy dirty. That is not cool. That is not cool. I'm saving that. That's a tweet. And then it's Mike from PA. That's fucking funny. Oh man, internet's a funny place. There's nothing more fun than dunking on a corporation, even if it's the Washington Post for their shoddy journalism. They're like, some random streamer did it. I mean, I don't want to bother reading the title of this video. I just know that it happened on Twitch. Amazon has previously denied and I knew it was Hassan because I watched that stream. Amazon has previously denied discontent among its workers, arguing turnover is a function of the company's flexibility. Although I've come across other stories that were like, we may be exhausting our labor pool, everybody. Maybe our high turnout is bad and we should not be turning over people so quickly. Maybe it's a bad idea. So I think I had this same story from another angle. No, this is it. This is it. Okay, so I think we're gonna jump off of this. It's about the end of that mine. That content mine. All right. There is like some weird stuff happening in Florida. I mean, it's pretty common for weird things to be happening in Florida. But it looks like more like unconstitutional laws are being passed that are just getting sued down. There's even a judge that said this law is pretty unusual. But this is from Law and Crime. Black professors and students file a lawsuit against Florida's Stop Woke Act, calling it racially motivated censorship in aftermath of the George Floyd's murder. The ACLU filed a lawsuit Thursday on behalf of instructors. I'm just going to put on the music again. The ACLU filed a lawsuit Thursday on behalf of instructors and students at Florida colleges and universities who say that the Stop Woke Act, signed into law by DeSantis, amounts to unconstitutional, racially motivated censorship. The Stop the Wrongs Against Our Kids and Employees Act. It's so stupid. They really worked hard to get the Stop Woke in there. Plaintiffs allege was supported by the Republican-controlled legislature to, quote, stifle widespread demands to discuss, study, and address systemic inequalities following the nationwide protests of George Floyd. The suit was filed against the Florida Board of Governors and the state university system, its various members, and University Board of Trustees. Cool. Some black professors said it will affect their ability to teach freely about privilege, racism, and critical race theory. Dauphin, a black student, said 2 courses about race she's enrolled in may be negatively affected, and that this will stymie, quote, stymie her educational enrichment and postgraduate future and minimize and or ignore her lived experience as a black woman. Quote, I fear that this law will cause my professors to avoid discussing race and gender altogether, which will result in my perspective and lived experience as a black female student being effectively minimized and erased in the classroom, Dauphin said in the statement. As a student, I deserve to see myself in the issues that impact me, including issues around race and gender, reflected in my classroom discussions. So, super normal thing to happen. Intellectuals and academics being targeted by the state. That's normal. Yeah, normal country shit. The quote, the Stop Woke Act's title makes no attempt to hide its unconstitutional purpose, the filing said, before citing the Oxford English Dictionary definition of woke. Quote, woke's speech is defined as alert to racial or social discrimination or injustice, and has been characterized by the legislature as speech concerned with civil rights, privilege and oppression, and even more broadly, systemic racism. Governor DeSantis claimed that the act was necessary to create a woke-free state of Florida. According to the bill's text, it shall constitute discrimination. Yeah. We get it. So, fun stuff, everybody. All right, probably time to get to the main. Probably time to get to the main segment. We're an hour in. Let's do it, everybody. Let's go see how things are going with our favorite ex-president. Yeah. All right, grabbing from the top of the pile. Sealed affidavit in Trump search should be redacted, a judge says. So this is the big news story. It seems very possible that the public is going to get their eyes on this thing. And from what I understand, an affidavit is like what the FBI had to tell the court to convince them to get the warrant in the first place. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. The possibility emerged after news organizations sought to unseal the affidavit submitted in support of the search warrant. Any public version of the affidavit could be heavily redacted. A federal judge ordered the government on Thursday to propose redactions to the highly sensitive affidavit that was used to justify a search warrant executed by the FBI last week at Trump's Mar-A-Lago, saying he was inclined to unseal parts of it. Ruling from the bench, the judge, Bruce E. Reinhardt, said it was, quote, very important that the public have, quote, as much information as it can about the historic search at Mar-a-Lago. He noted later in a written order that the government, quote, had not met its burden of showing that the entire affidavit should remain sealed. Oh, okay. Interesting. Judge Reinhardt went on to say that he was leaning toward releasing portions of the document, adding that, quote, whether those portions would be meaningful for the public or the media was not for him to decide. He also acknowledged that the redaction process could often be extensive and sometimes turn documents into, quote, meaningless gibberish. Interesting. So there's like a balance to be struck. In its fullest form, the affidavit supporting the warrant would reveal critical details of the broader investigation into Mr. Trump's handling of sensitive documents. Chief among them, what led prosecutors to believe there was probable cause that evidence of a crime existed at MAR-A-LAGO. Even a redacted version could shed lights on aspects of the inquiry, such as the back-and-forth negotiations between Mr. Trump and federal prosecutors about returning the documents, a crucial step in showing that the former president may have willfully kept them in his possession. There's been a lot of hay made about this part right here. Like, there was definitely a court process and a subpoena that was, like, you know, being served or something to that effect. And from what I understand, Trump complied only partially with the subpoena. Here's some of it, but not, but not all of it. But definitely not all of it. I need to keep these documents in particular. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. It's normal. Judge Reinhardt's decision in the closely scrutinized case appeared to strike a middle course between the Justice Department, which had wanted to keep the affidavit entirely under wraps as it continued to investigate Mr. Trump's retention of classified documents, and a group of news organizations which requested that it be released in full to the public. As a part of his ruling, Judge Reinhardt ordered the government to send him under seal proposed redactions to the warrant affidavit by next Thursday at noon. So we have to wait a full week before we get any new information. Damn. Maybe next Friday. So next week. Next F5 Friday. But he did not set a specific date for the affidavit to be released. This is going to be a considered, careful process, Judge Reinhardt said. The Justice Department did not immediately respond to Judge Reinhardt's ruling, but privately, officials said they were surprised by the decision. The hearing in federal district court for the Southern District of Florida emerged from an effort last week by a coalition of news organizations to unseal the affidavit, a document that is almost always kept under seal until charges are filed. Among the news organizations making the request were the New York Times, WAPO, and Dow Jones. It is unlikely, however, that any critical details of the inquiry, including issues related to probable cause, or the identities of witnesses who were interviewed by prosecutors, will make it into the redacted version of the affidavit. So we won't find out who the mole is. Damn. Dang. Damn. At the request of the Justice Department, Judge Reinhardt has already unsealed the warrant itself and 2 attachments to it. Those documents revealed, among other things, that prosecutors have been looking into whether Mr. Trump violated the Espionage Act, mishandled government records, and obstructed a federal investigation by removing boxes of material from the White House at the end of his tenure. Oh my God. Just hiding the evidence that is in the closet by the pool. Good stuff. Before the proceeding began in earnest, Judge Reinhardt unsealed a few more ancillary documents connected to the warrant affidavit that all of the parties had agreed to release. They included a redacted copy of the warrant application, the original order to seal the warrant, and the government's request to seal the warrant. A top Justice Department lawyer began the arguments in front of Judge Reinhardt by admitting that the search of Mar-a-Lago had attracted, quote, heightened public interest. That's you, everybody. But he still opposed the request to unseal the affidavit. It was a, quote, very detailed and reasonably lengthy document that would provide a guide to the department's continuing inquiry. Okay. This keeps going. Wow, this really keeps going. Oh my God, in the days after Judge Reinhardt signed the warrant, several threats, several of them anti-Semitic, were issued against him and his family on pro-Trump message boards, with one person writing, quote, I see a rope around his neck. Oh my God. Yikes. Yo, what's with all of the attacks on judges and FBI and Congress and pretty much anybody and everybody? Come on, right wing. You gotta calm down. You gotta calm down your bacon. Okay, next story. DOJ fights to keep Mar-a-Lago affidavit sealed.
The Department wanted it to stay secret. But now a judge says he's inclined to release parts of the FBI's affidavit justifying the search of the former president's home. Today, the same judge who authorized the search ordered the DOJ to decide what it wants redacted from the highly sensitive document. He's giving the Justice Department 1 week. The affidavit spells out exactly what the FBI agents were looking for at Mar-A-Lago and why they needed to take such drastic and unprecedented action. Federal prosecutors say the release of the document would jeopardize their ongoing investigation, but news organizations, including NBC News, are asking the judge to unseal it. Today in court, a lawyer for the media argued the search was one of the most significant law enforcement events in the nation's history, and that there's tremendous public interest in the release of the FBI's affidavit. Federal prosecutors pushed back. They warned the judge that the document's release would compromise future steps in the investigation and put witnesses in danger. A DOJ lawyer told the judge...
Can you imagine that Teflon Don gets away with it, like, another time because, like, a judge is like, yeah, free speech, and it scuttles the investigation? Could you imagine?
This is a volatile situation with respect to this particular search across the political spectrum, but certainly on one side in particular. There's a real concern, not just for the safety of these witnesses, but to chill other witnesses who may come forward and cooperate. Ultimately, the judge ruled that it was very important for the public to have as much information as possible about the historic search. NBC's Mark Caputo was in the courtroom today in West Palm Beach, Florida, a short distance away from Mar-a-Lago. He's now in Miami. Mark, give us a better sense of the arguments that were made today.
Well, you pretty well summed it up. What was really remarkable to me is that if you didn't know this was a former president, you would have thought you were sitting in court listening to the government talk about a mob boss. When you hear these discussions of obstruction of justice, tampering with witnesses, or concerns about it, worries that law enforcement are going to be doxxed and that they're going to be put at risk. It's remarkable stuff. It's accurately said by both sides in the courtroom that this is an unprecedented, unique situation, and this is a real moment in history.
So the DOJ now has 1 week to provide these redactions. What happens after that?
It's got to be intense.
The judge can decide, Judge Reinhart will decide whether he thinks they did a good job. This is the same judge that approved the search warrant after reading the affidavit, so he knows what's in there. He's also a former federal prosecutor himself, so he understands the importance of law enforcement techniques and the like. As a result, he's going to take the time, read over it, and decide, okay, this should be in, or this shouldn't be in, this should be out, this shouldn't be out. If he thinks the DOJ did a good job, he'll release it. If he thinks that they should do more, he'll say that. Or if he thinks he should do it on his own, he said he'll do that as well.
So NBC is now reporting that there are discussions in Trump world about potentially releasing that surveillance footage of the FBI search. So what purpose would that serve Donald Trump, to put that video out there for everyone to see?
I don't know. The reality is a lot of people say a lot of things in Trump world. Until it actually gets done, I'm a little skeptical about exactly who says what in Trump world. In fact, Trump himself frequently changes his mind from one moment to another. The degree to which these things can help the former president, I'm not quite sure. After all, the former president has said he wants the affidavit completely released, but the reality is there's a lot of stuff in there, grand jury testimony, according to the prosecutors, that probably aren't going to reflect well on the former president. In fact, one of the reasons the search warrant got approved is that the judge essentially ruled there's probable cause that the former president or people in his orbit had obstructed justice and broken or violated other laws related to records management and maintenance. So it's really serious stuff. As for what the surveillance tapes will show or what the affidavit really says, well, that's the difficulty of covering all of this and Trump world in general. You never quite know until it's actually in black and white on a piece of paper.
Nice. So that's fun. Good news, everybody. I can't wait to find out next week. Our content's being lined up for us. So easy. All right, what else we got? We got a bit more on this story. Just some other perspectives.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Thursday night. Well, tonight we are one step closer to seeing parts of the affidavit that convinced a federal judge to allow the FBI to search former President Trump's Florida home. And now we know just which crimes Trump is under investigation for by the Justice Department. But the DOJ says the criminal probe is in its, quote, very early stages. Late this afternoon, a judge gave investigators 1 week to file a redacted version for him to consider unsealing. And in other Trump legal woes, a former top executive at the Trump Organization pleaded guilty today to evading taxes and agreed to testify against the company at an upcoming trial.
That's big news, too. We'll cover that. That's Weiselman? I can't remember. But he's the CFO, so the chief financial officer, who should know where all the bodies are buried. And he got like a super light sentence.
So we have a lot of news to get to tonight, and CBS's Catherine Herridge is here to start us all off. Good evening, Catherine.
Nora, there's court action today from New York to Florida that could have wide-reaching implications for the former president.
Federal Judge Bruce Reinhart found the Justice Department had not met the high threshold for showing the entire affidavit should remain sealed. And he ordered the immediate release of these procedural records that provide new insight into the possible crimes behind the MAR-A-LAGO search. Willful retention of national defense information, concealment or removal of government records, and obstruction of a federal investigation. The judge agreed with media organizations, including CBS News, that at least some part of the affidavit that supported the search could be unsealed.
Balancing the interest in the public of accessing these materials against the interest in the government in keeping them secret.
Under today's order, the Justice Department has 1 week to propose what information they'd like to black out or redact from the affidavit. Information that, if made public, prosecutors believe would be a roadmap to the criminal probe and would reveal identities of potential witnesses and the FBI agents involved.
How much of the affidavit will the public see?
I think we can look forward to discovering a few more tantalizing details. For the most part, we're not going to see the core of what we're all very interested in, none of which will be good news for former President Trump.
And earlier today, in a Manhattan court, the former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization pleaded guilty to not paying taxes on almost $2 million in compensation.
My chief financial officer, Alan Weiselberg.
In pleading guilty, Alan Weiselberg acknowledged conspiring with the Trump Organization to evade taxes, and he could be called to testify as early as this fall.
The Trump Organization called Weiselberg a, quote, fine and honorable man, claiming he was harassed, persecuted, and threatened in a politically motivated prosecution. On Twitter, a Trump spokesman said the American public should be permitted to see the whole Mar-a-Lago affidavit without sections blacked out. Nora.
Catherine Herridge with a lot of news today. Thank you.
Okay, so that was that story. Pretty good. Pretty fun. So yeah, this judge seems to be clearing out a path. NPR covering the same thing. I don't think there's any new information there. Maggie Haberman from New York Times has been speculating, which I thought most people agreed we wouldn't let her do, but here she goes. Trump may have taken documents related to the Mueller probe, which is an interesting thought. Maybe pertain to Russia. Russiagate again. She said on the Hacks on Tap podcast that someone had a habit of keeping documents if he thought that Trump had a habit of keeping documents if he thought something was cool or if it was personally advantageous. Quote, but it also could be that some of this material somehow relates to the investigation into whether his campaign was conspiring with Russia. She did not provide evidence or cite sources to support the claim. So she's just talking on a podcast and Business Insider's like, oh yeah? Really? This is news from Rolling Stones. FBI questioning Trump's national security staff about his top secret document alibi. The ex-president claims he's able to declassify whatever he wants. The feds are grilling former NSC personnel for answers. Sources familiar tell Rolling Stone. This is probably the scoop. It's pretty short too. When FBI agents found top secret documents at Mar-a-Lago, the former president and his staff claimed the docs were actually declassified by a mysterious standing declassification. You know, that mysterious rule. The one where he just declares it. I declare declassified. Now the feds are investigating Trump's alibi to see if anyone besides Trump heard about it. Two people familiar with the matter tell Rolling Stone that the FBI has begun asking former Trump administration officials whether they've heard of the so-called standing order Trump claims to have given. In recent days, the sources say, the feds have sent interview requests to the ex-officials, including former National Security Council personnel. The FBI has asked some of them to visit local FBI field offices to answer follow-up questions concerning the ex-president, classified and highly sensitive documents, and the alleged order. That order, Trump's office insisted last week, dictated that, quote, any documents removed from the Oval Office and taken into the residence were deemed to be classified. He deemed it, everybody. So far, interviews have been voluntary, but as with any FBI investigation, witnesses are required by federal law to be truthful or they get charged. FBI declined to comment. It's unclear why a sitting president who, as commander-in-chief, was privy to any classified information would need to declassify work brought to the White House private residence. John Bolton, who served as Trump's national security advisor from 2018 to 2019, told the New York Times that he was unaware of any such order and called the assertion, quote, almost certainly a lie. Nice. John Bolton coming down from the rafters with the elbow drop. Trump and his allies have offered a confusing and at times contradictory set of explanations for why FBI agents found documents marked top secret in boxes at former president's South Florida residence. In post to his social media platform Truth Social, Trump has suggested that both the FBI was involved in planting evidence during the search, execution of the search warrant, and that the documents were all declassified. Yeah, okay, we've heard all this before. So things are popping off. We got some filler content to give us a little laugh. Let's have a laugh.
To stop the communist.
Let me just turn up the volume real quick.
Agenda, we need to get rid of the big banks.
Right, and is Trump the president of the Republic? Is he the 19th president of the Republic?
Oh God, yeah.
So that's something I've heard. Yeah, made sense.
Yeah.
Supposedly, we went defunct during the Revolutionary War, I believe, and then we had to keep fighting England after that. We had to borrow money, and so that's what they do with wars. Everybody needs money, so they loan it to both sides. Then you can't pay it back, then they own you.
Banks.
Right. It's the banks,
it's the banks
that run that and loan the money to the government, and we pay them interest for a dollar bill that costs what, 11
and
cents.
there's actually
that's how
Karl
things
Marx. No one knew who he was until the big banks distributed all of his literature.
Right.
Yeah. So in order to get rid of communism, we need to get rid of the big banks.
Yeah.
Get rid of big pharma.
Right.
What else? Big tech.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like
these landlords that are coming in and buying hundreds of properties. You don't even know what corporation.
Like China is doing it, and Bill Gates.
Zillow.
Yeah.
Those are the first four things you need to get rid of in order to stop this communist takeover.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people here are very fed up, and they're ready to collectivize and sort of seize the means of production.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's why I support unions so much.
It's funny. I work for actually not this shirt, the other shirt I had earlier, for a company not too far from here called Liberty Pump, non-union. They let the owners of the company sold a third of the company to the employees. So the employees have ownership of it, which is a lot better. And
they're collectivizing.
Right. It's an ESOP, and the employees love it. They're happy. They work their tails off.
Yeah, the workers own the means of production.
Their families work there. Their dad, the sons work there, and that's typically where America started. A lot of families did that.
That's good. Got him to praise some good old communism. He's got another clip that was really good. I haven't seen it yet, but I just trust this guy to make great content.
My uncle was thrown in jail for his political beliefs. They confiscated his ice cream truck. They took away all his weapons. His wife can't even contact him in jail because she's not 18.
Well, you're 100%
Wait.
right. It is crazy.
Wait, what'd
Every
you say
American wants life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what our country was founded upon.
They shut down his factory. All the children there are unemployed, and it's
overreach. Government overreach.
And now his wife can't visit him in jail because she's not 18, and it's just a nightmare. And it's just all because of your political beliefs.
Alarm should be going off.
Is that a January 6th guy?
What?
January 6th guy?
No comment.
Oh, okay.
All right, I got you.
Good answer.
It's okay.
Good answer.
Took away all his weapons, and now that he's in jail, his wife can't even contact him because she's not 18, and it's just like
She's not 18.
You know,
So
there's
how
no
did that
freedom of
happen? How
speech.
could they take his ice cream truck? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Now I'm thinking about it. What I can visualize. I mean, I'm just taking a shot in the dark here, but one of the parents is like, "Oh, he's saying something to the kids, something to do with minors."
All of the guns that were in the ice cream truck taken, you know, and they're all like,
oh, children guns. Oh, this is bad.
because he stands for like freedom and liberty, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's cancel culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bro is trying so hard to make it make sense. Trying so hard to make this make sense. The man in the ice cream, he didn't ask, but wait, how old is she? Because that would have, but oh, she's 15. Oh, she's 12. Oh, like, how far were they willing to put that joke? But nobody asked. He just said under 18. Yeah, but what were the parents saying? Maybe the parents were tarnishing his good name. Here's the story on Alan Weiselberg. And his testimony may put him front and center at a future trial in the criminal case against the Trump org, where he will have to testify about his role in the elaborate scheme. I think they had to pay like $25 million on that. Admitted to all 15 felonies that prosecutors accused him of. Woo! That's pretty wild. He was facing up to 15 years, but instead he'll just serve 5 months. What the fuck? Trump aides think a family member informed on him to the FBI because agents knew where to find a specific leather case, a report says. That's a real big if true. I don't know how real this story is. Could be true. But honestly, I don't think there's any way to tell for sure, so we'll take a beat on that one. Liz Cheney releases call to Trump-backed opponent who said she didn't concede. This is a crazy story. She released a recording of her call to Harriet Hageman, conceding her loss, and the reason she had to release that recording was because, well, it will say in the article, in her concession speech, oh my God, where's the actual piece? Yeah, the Trump-backed Republican who won the Wyoming U.S. House primary on Thursday told Fox News her rival had not made, quote, any kind of concession or anything else. And then she actually had to release the recording to Politico and be like, you liar. The first thing you do is lie is not only lie, but get caught in a lie. Wild. After a girl beat their daughters in sports, Utah parents triggered an investigation into whether she was transgender or not. Yeah, it's begun. It's absolutely begun. Not a good sign. All right. Well, I hate to say it, but I think it might be a shorter stream. It's looking like it's gonna be a beautiful day. I thought it was gonna be kind of muggy and lame and gross, but it's actually gorgeous out there. So I think I'm gonna get my stuff together, take care of some things, and probably go enjoy touching grass and living life. Maybe record some music. I don't know. I hope you had a lovely stay. I'll see you later. I'll be here tomorrow morning at 9. And you have a good one. I'll see you later, chat. Bye. Au revoir, everyone. See you later. À demain.